Hello everyone. Today we are going to see about OSI protocol architecture. Before that, I want to introduce myself. I am Dr. Revathi, working as an assistant professor in Department of Computer Science with Data Analytics at Dr. S.N.S. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore. Let us go to the topic. OSI layer. OSI in the sense Open System Interconnected, which means it has 7 layers, that is application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer and physical layer. These are all the 7 layers which act in both the client side and the server side. The client side in the sense layer 7 to 1, and from server side in the sense it is from 1 to 7. Let us see how it works. Application layer is responsible for providing services to the user, and whereas the presentation layer take care of the syntax and semantics of information and exchange data between communication system. Session layer, it establishes the connections, maintenance, synchronize and terminate the interaction between the sender and the receiver. If we are providing a new connection in the sense, the session timeout will also be included in the session layer. And in the transport layer, it is responsible for process to process delivery, because if the process sets from the sender, and the transport layer sends the data to the receiver. That is it is the main responsible for the transport layer. And the network layer is responsible for delivering individual packets from source to the destination. They are providing individual delivery of individual packets from source to the destination. Whereas in data link layer, it is responsible for moving frame from one hop to the next hop. We have seen all these 5 layers in TCP IP also, and there are only 2 layers, that is presentation layer and session layer is not in the TCP IP. Because TCP IP contains only 5 layers, but in OSI we have 7 layers. Data link layer, as we have already seen, and the next thing is physical layer, which is responsible for individual bits from one devices to the next device. This is the OSI model. The first physical layer, data link layer, and layer is the lower layer, lowest level of layer, and the network and transport layer of the middle layer, and the session, presentation and application are considered as a upper layer here. The physical layer in the sense we have seen already, that is it is transfers bit from one source to the destination. It is responsible for media, signal and binary transmission. In data link layer, we have a physical addressing like MAC and LLC. It converts the bits into frames, and then it transfers the it transfers the frame into the network layer. Network layer identifies the path from source to the destination, and it transfer data using logical addressing. The data has been splitted into packets here, and it has been transferred to the transport layer. Transport layer is responsible for end-to-end connection and reliability. It is also called as a host layer. It segments the data. In the session layer, it is responsible for inter-host communication. It contains data. In the presentation layer is responsible for data representation and encryption, and the application layer is responsible for network process to application. And these are all the 7 layers. What are all the protocols are used in this OSI layer we are going to see now. In physical layer, we don't have any protocol. Instead of that, we are using network components such as hardware repeaters and coaxial cable, fiber optics as the physical structure. In the data link layer, we use Ethernet switch bridges. This is also as a network components. And in the network layer only, we are using IP, that is Internet Protocol, ICMP protocol, and IGMP. In transport layer, we use two protocols, that is TCP and UDP, Transmission Control Protocol and User Datagram Protocol. It is responsible for end-to-end connection. This TCP IP segments the data into packets and it transmits to the destination. And it forms a original, it reframes the packet and it gives the data to the destination, but it is not has been followed in the UDP. UDP is a connectionless protocol. It doesn't splits the data into packets and it doesn't reframes the data. And we are using session layer, application APIs, sockets, WinSock. These are all the protocols we are used in session layer. It is responsible for synchronization and send to port. And the presentation layer, we are using SSL, secure socket layer, and JPEG, SSH, IMAP. These are all the protocols we are using in presentation layer because it is responsible for syntax. It is responsible for syntax and error correction. And the last layer is the application layer. It is the end user layer. We are using HTTP, that is hypertext transfer protocol, and DNS, domain name service, and file transfer protocol here. Thank you so much.